Today we're going to be looking at rate of change and slope. So the rate of change is a ratio that compares the amount of change in a dependent variable to the amount of change in an independent variable. Remember, dependent is your y and independent is your x. So the rate of change is going to be equal to the change in y over the change of x. So let's look at it from a table. So we have a table over here. First thing we need to do is find the difference between consecutive x data points. So from 0 to 1 is a difference of 1. From 1 to 3 is 2, 3 to 6 is 3, and 6 to 8 is 2. Now find the difference between consecutive y data points. 0 to 4 is 4, 4 to 12 is 8, 12 to 24 is 12, and 24 to 32 is 8. Now we're going to look at the ratio between each one. So here we have 4, let's try that again. We have 4 over 1 as our first ratio, is y over x. Then we have 8 over 12, and 8 over 12, 8 over 2, is the same thing as 4 over 1. Let's look at the next one. 12 over 3 is the same relationship as 4 over 1. And lastly, 8 over 2, again, is the same relationship as 4 over 1. So, the ratio of this table, the rate of change, is 4 over 1. Now, if all of these did not have the same ratio, then it would not be linear. Now, let's look at it from a graph. So, slope is going to be, when we're looking at a graph, as rise over run. So rise, we're going up or down, and run, we're going from the right or to the left. So when you're rising and you're going up, that's a positive. And if you're going down, that's negative. If you go to the right, that's positive. If you go to the left, that's negative. So you can start at any point. Let's start at this one here. How far up do you go? How much are you rising? That's 2. And then you're running to the left, which is negative, and you're going 5 spaces. So our slope is 2 over negative 5, which is the same thing as negative 2 over 5. So now let's look at different types of slope. So if you're going uphill, if you're thinking of a car driving and it's going up the hill, that's going to be a positive slope. If you're going downhill, that's a negative slope. Horizontal line, we have a slope of 0. And a vertical line, we have a slope of undefined. It does not exist. Now let's look at it when we are given 2 points. So the slope, we also call m, is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So here's our example, negative 3, 2, and 5, 7. Label each point. This is our first point, this is our second point. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2. Substitute it in. So y2 is 6 minus y2. Substitute it in. So y2 is 6 minus y1 is 2 over x2 is 5 minus x1, negative 3. Now simplify it. 6 minus 2 is 4. Negative and negative make a positive here, so 5 plus 3 gives us 8. So if we simplify this, we get a slope of 1/2. Now I want you to try these 4 problems. Come back and check your work. Okay, let's check our work. Let's label our points. x1, y1, x2, y2. Substitute it in. Negative 1 minus negative 2 over 2 minus 0. Minus a negative makes a positive. Negative 1 plus 2 gives us positive 1. 2 minus 0 is 2. So we get 1/2. We have points. So we're going to do rise over run. So we're going to rise 2, which is positive, to the left 1, which is negative. So we have 2 over negative 1. Same thing as negative 2 or negative 2 over 1. Number 3, we're increasing by 1, increasing by 1. Increasing here by nothing, and by nothing. So our change in y, which is 0, over our change in x, which is 1, which gives us a slope of 0. Label your points. So 1 minus 0 over negative 3 minus negative 3. 1 minus 0 is 1. Negative 3 minus negative 3. So we have negative 3 plus 3, which is 0. We cannot have a 0 in the denominator, so this makes it undefined. The next type of problems we're going to look at is we need to find the missing coordinate value. So here we need to find our y. We are given our slope and given our 2 points. So substitute in all the information. So instead of m, we're going to write 4/5 is equal to y2, which is y, minus 1 over negative 2 minus 3. Let's simplify this. So we have 4/5 is equal to y over 1 over negative 5. Now let's cross multiply. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. And we have 5 times y minus 1. Distribute. Add. Divide both sides by 5. So y is going to equal negative 3. Now try the next one. Come back and check your work once you are finished. Okay, let's check number 2. We're given 2 points and the slope. We're missing an x value in one of the points. Let's substitute everything in. Negative 2. We can change that into a fraction of negative 2 over 1 is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Simplify. -4 plus 6 is a positive 2. Cross multiply. Distribute. Add 10 over. Divide both sides by 2. You get x to equal 6. Okay, let's look at these two word problems. In 2002, a scientific calculator cost $11.50. In 2018, the price increased to $14.75. Find the rate of change. So let's create 2 points. So 2002, comma, the cost, $11.50. Our second point would be 2018 and $14.75. Now we're going to do the slope formula, y sub 2, so 14.75 minus 11.50 over 2018 minus 2002. Now we're going to subtract. You subtract this, you get 3.25, and then you get 16. If you divide that, you get the slope of 0.203125. So what this means is the price increased about 20 cents each year. Let's look at the last question here. In 2009, Nathan had $840 in his savings, saved in the bank. In 2020, he only had only $215 left. Find the rate of change. So we're going to do this the same way. Create 2 points. So 2009, $840. So that's 1 point. In 2020, he had $215. So that's our second point. Now subtract 215 minus 840 over 2020 minus 2009. When you subtract that, you get negative 625 over 11. When you divide that, you get your slope to be negative 56.81 repeating. So, what this means is Nathan's account decreased by about $56.82 because we round up each year. So that's a lesson on rate of change and slope. Please reach out if you have any questions.